Invasion Busters is a board game about biosecurity, protecting New Zealand from damaging pest diseases and weeds from overseas. In Invasion Busters you will work together cooperatively as a team to prevent a stream of invading pests from taking hold and causing damage. So we stack our pest cards face down on the board with one on the medium population spot to represent a pest that has already established. We put the bug token on the gold spot and choose our special roles. Now we're ready to play. On your turn, the first thing you have to do is allocate the dice to different parts of the biosecurity system. The dice represent your budget, the money that you have available, so each dice is like $1 million. You can allocate one or more dice to any part of the system with a dice icon on it. Just put the dice there. At this stage it doesn't matter which way up they are. So you might put 2 dice on trapping, 1 on inspectors, 1 on airport security and 1 on risk analysis. Now you get to roll the special coloured dice and move the bug around its track from its starting point. If the bug lands on a red or gold space, then a new pest tries to enter the country. Put the top card on the contamination spot. The last part of your turn is where you find out how successful you've been. Start at the bottom of the board and move your way up so you don't get the cards mixed up. For each card, check to see if any dice affected it. Roll the dice and compare it to the values on the card. To be successful, your dice have to beat the value on the card. The Force of Nature player should check the values on any face-down cards and simply say whether the player failed or succeeded. Don't forget to use your special ability if it applies to that spot. If you're successful, move the card along the green arrow. If you failed or didn't have any dice allocated to a card, move the card along the red arrow. Each card can only move 1 space per turn. Risk analysis is a bit different. Roll the dice, and if you get a 4, 5 or 6, then you can look at the top 1, 2 or 3 pest cards. Check out how they will come in and what the surveillance tools work best. Then shuffle the cards and replace them on the pile. You can use that knowledge later when they come through the border. So each player has a turn to allocate dice and try and keep the pests out. All except the Force of Nature, who knows too much. Once the pest cards run out, then you lose 1 dice per turn until none are left. Then move any remaining cards along the red arrows, count up your score. How well did your team do? There are a few special things to keep in mind. Once cards are face up on the board, you need to allocate dice to that particular card. It makes no sense for your fruit fly eradication program to also kill giant African snails, even if they are on the same spot. In contrast, surveillance works for all cards in the blue slots. Roll the same dice separately for each card. If you allocate more than 1 dice to a spot, then only the highest rolled value applies. Never add the dice values together. If an icon doesn't appear on a card, then that means it isn't relevant to that pest. For example, great white butterfly can't be trapped because no trap icon appears on its card. If you're the Force of Nature, try not to give anything away. For example, if someone is rolling for the cargo pathway, but the pest only comes in with passengers, then pretend to compare the dice values before announcing it a failure. If there are no pest cards in the blue or purple slots, then the bug token automatically advances to the next red or gold spot so that a pest will come in. If the bug token ever lands on the gold spot, then you have a budget cut. You must choose 1 dice to move to that space. You can't have the dice back until the bug comes right around the track again. Remember to work together as a team, talk about what you should do and try to make the most of everyone's special abilities on their turn. And have fun!